The big names you know. The other guys you've never heard of. Until now. This is Around the Nest. Jay talking around the Blue Jays minor league system.
This is Jesse Goldberg-Strassler, joined by Zach Helton. Zach, let me first check in with you. When last we talked, it was way back in springtime. How did you spend your summer?
Well, I think it's been like a lot of us were spending it just waiting on sports to happen. And you got a lot of reading done. Shameless plug to you. I got both the thesauruses, got a lot of reading done on both of those guys during the summer. But, being a broadcaster with nothing to broadcast is always one of those things that's a little odd. So I think I used some good time to better my craft and just kind of help myself for the future. And I think it's paid off here the past little bit. But, it was an odd year. One, not talking to you every Friday and then not doing Bluefield Blue Jays baseball every night. It was, I finally got some rest, but after, you catch up on that, you're still wondering, well, what's next? I need something to do now. So, finally, the clouds have kind of parted, I think, for all of us, and we're back to a little bit of normalcy, and I like it.
You look well rested, and also you got yourself a new job. So things really have paid off. Tell me about this.
Yeah, and the great thing about it is I'm not going too far from Bluefield. Where I graduated from Bluefield State College, they're growing their athletic department, picking up some new sports, including football in the 2021 season. So they've brought me on as director of broadcasting, and we're jumping in, both feet ahead. We're putting some software together, putting together, what you got to do. You get some equipment. I'm just begging the buyers at the school to I'm trying to make my case for what is needed and why it's needed. And some people who are not in our field don't quite get that. So that's a little bit of an uphill battle, but I think they're all on board and it's been great. And I'm looking forward to, we've got basketball coming up, and I think in about 3 weeks. So I'm hoping that once we get that going, it's just all hands on deck and we're rolling.
It's like this with equipment, right? You could have Mookie Betts, but if the guy doesn't have a bat, that's a good bat, he's not going to hit a home run.
No. So, and that's part of it. We actually agreed to a company who's very well known in the college industry. We got that contract finalized today. So that I was pretty proud of that. And then getting the equipment, some of it's on back order. So I'm a little squirmish on that right now. I'm hoping to get it in the next 3 weeks. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's part of a growing thing, and they've never had it before. So I don't know what their expectations are, but you and I know what it takes to do that, not only in front of the camera or in front of the microphone, but behind the scenes. And I think I'm going to take my experience to the next level and get some good people around me and just make it a team effort.
Congratulations. All right. So
thank you.
Voice of Bluefield football, voice of Bluefield basketball, voice of Bluefield baseball. Is there anything I'm missing?
Well, with the change in the Appalachian League, which I think we'll kind of allude to later, I think I'll be staying on with them. So it'll be a year-round in Bluefield thing. I don't live too far from Bluefield. It's not a far drive. So, it's good to stay home. In this industry, sometimes you got to pick up and move, 10 times, which I've already done, at least 6 in my early career. So I'm hoping to stay here a long time and make this a home for me and my family.
Well, let's get right into it. Bluefield, like the rest of the Appy League, is becoming an elite college wood bat circuit, if I understand things right. When did you first hear that things were going in that direction?
I actually heard back in the summer. I think there was some rumblings about it, and I speak with our GM, Rocky Mountain, Missouri, usually at least every couple of days. I see him out, and he, reaches out to me. We talk a lot about sports and everything going on, and he was an avid fighter for the Appy League, and a lot of people in the area were. It's a great thing for the area, and like I wrote a little piece for the local paper during the summer when I had some downtime. And I said, if the Blue Jays weren't in Bluefield or the Cardinals weren't in Johnson City, a lot of people wouldn't be invested in those franchises up the road. People in Bluefield still to this day act like Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was birthed at Bluefield Regional Hospital. You know, same with Cal Ripken Jr. You know, the fans that watched him come through with the Orioles, they take them on like their own children, and they take care of them. And I think that's one of the pieces that's going to be missing. But I think it's going to come back with this new league is, you know, these kids that go maybe to Texas or Southern Cal or wherever they come from, if they make a stop in Bluefield, they're going to be Bluefields for the rest of their career. And that's how it's been for years with the Orioles and the Blue Jays. And now this new league, I think fans are going to be full on. And to be honest with you, you know how this professional baseball goes. You know, you've got 4 or 5 prospects and then some other guys that kind of just fill the roster to put a product on the field. All 30 of these guys on each of these teams are going to be prospects. So honestly, in my head, I feel like the baseball is going to be a better product on the field.
Let me ask you about scouts too. How many scouts had you had before? And I guess how many scouts would you anticipate having now?
Well, I would say on the nightly basis, we would have at least 1 or 2. And, you know, there'd be some nights that there wouldn't be any come through. But, you know, I'd be in the press box doing prep or getting some stats together, and they would come through and get a stat pack or whatever they needed for the night. But, you know, I think we all anticipate at least 3 or 4, maybe 5 a night. We're actually getting a new press box in Bowen Field. So, and there's actually a room set aside for the scouts. So I'm not only excited about the new press box with air conditioning and not staring into the sun at Bowen Field, but I'm just excited about what's going to transpire from this. You know, MLB is on board, and I really think they're honest with it. I think they really want to honestly be a great part of it. USA Baseball has done some great things, and really, they're fairly close. I mean, they're in Cary, North Carolina. Burlington's not far from them, and then the rest of the league is, you know, a couple-hour trip, essentially. So I think it's going to be a great fit, and I think everyone, once they see that, you know, it's still premier baseball on that diamond, they're going to come out and support it.
And there will still be a Mercer Cup, right? Bluefield against Princeton?
I have heard that there will not be, but I think they're going to maybe make up a new thing. I think they're going to retire the Mercer Cup, but I think it's going to be a very similar type trophy type series thing.
Can it be named after you? Can I put in a good word for that?
I don't know. I don't know if I've made it that far yet. I think maybe when I die, I might get a doorknob at the new press box named after me, but hopefully that's a long way down the road.
Zach, in talking to you about this, it sounds to me, and in reading other things and talking with other people, this whole reorganization of minor league baseball has a lot of people worried or concerned or stressed. And it seems like if you're a part of the Appy League, that you're pretty amped for it.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know how long the Appy League could have held on with the way it was going. I think if the Blue Jays were tremendous, they came in full force after the Orioles let Bluefield go. They invested in the ballpark. You know, they did a lot of renovations there at Bowen Field that are, you know, still to this day that look great. Some of the other in the league, you know, I won't mention names, but obviously there's some in the league that didn't get that support. And when you're, you know, working with, you know, pennies, trying to pinch pennies in a budget, and you need a new ballpark or you need a new clubhouse or anything of that matter, it's tough to relegate a decision like that when you're only drawing maybe 600-700 a night, or, you know, a tough weekend crowd or what have you. I think this, especially where, you know, the players are going to come in and USA Baseball and MLB are going to have a hand in helping with not just the organization like the Blue Jays or the Braves or who have you, but Major League as a whole is going to have some help with the financial part of this and just kind of let the clubs go with their local management. I think it can be a great thing if handled correctly. But, you know, like me and like you being around professional baseball, it's tough to see, you know, professional baseball leave, but I think this is a great alternative.
Have you heard any of the finalists for what Bluefield's new team name is going to be called?
I have heard 2, and I've been sworn to confidentiality that I haven't been told. The blue and gray, I will say, will stay. The blue and gray colors will be prominent at Bluefield. There's 2 great nicknames with some local ties that are going to be great. I haven't heard any of the others. I've kind of tried to poke and prod at some of the other broadcasters, or some of the people in the offices. And like, hey, what are you guys doing? And they're kind of like me. They won't tell me because I won't tell them. But I think it's going to be really interesting, especially this area. There's so much old culture with not only coal, but timber in the past, and just there's some great people here, and I think they're going to make some great decisions. And I think the marketing aspect of it with these new logos and new names, I think will definitely help at least the first year get some new merchandise out there and have people just kind of amped up to have a Bluefield hat or a Princeton hat, what have you, with the new logo.
And Zach, finally, Alejandro Kirk went from Bluefield to Lansing and Dunedin to the majors, to Toronto/Buffalo. Is that the quickest that you've seen a player go from Bluefield to the major leagues?
I think so. And you're not the only person. I especially when he made his major league debut, I had people texting me, sending me tweet messages, and like, who is this guy? Where does he come from? But like I told you years ago when he was at Bluefield, I said, this guy is a baller. He comes up and swings with all his might. He's 5'9", 200 pounds. If you met him in the street, he wouldn't look like an athlete. But when you see him get in the batter's box, this kid can mash. And I hope, he stays healthy, and I hope he continues his career. And I think the Toronto Blue Jays have a gem right there. Catching depth is huge at any level. And I think he can add to that, whether it be back in the majors next year, spring training, or AAA, wherever they decide to put him next spring.
Well, here's to Alejandro Kirk. Here's to all the folks in Bluefield, remembering when Alejandro Kirk was born at the local hospital.
Yes.
And from there moving forward, Zach, congratulations on your new job. Congratulations on all of your roles moving forward. I'm looking forward to continuing to talk to you, because the fun thing is, okay, directly we would get Bluefield Blue Jays moving up the ladder. We're going to get that indirectly, where your players are going to get drafted or signed or traded. And I'm going to go right to you and go, all right, tell me about this Texas Longhorn.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm excited about this. Not only are, one or two every year that we'll be gleaning about, but it'll be 30 every year that we're gleaning about. And I'll have all the ammunition that you're looking for coming forward.
Well, thank you very much, and happy reading in the future too.
Thank you, Jesse. Always a pleasure.